and get to your mic. So how long ago were you? How is Khana? Let me start with that.
Let me introduce myself properly.
Okay, please do.
I am NUADUM ETUKERE, KJW, Knights of John Wesley, in the Methodist Church, and a grassroots person. I was the CDC chairman of SIN community in Khana for over 13 years, and currently the coordinator of all CDCs in Khana. And I'm a grassroots person, like I rightly said, and I live in Khana. I stay in my community, and I know what happens in Khana. So I'm not alien to the things that are happening, and I can rightly say I know what is happening, and I'm at the grassroots. So basically, with the sole administrator thing, ordinarily we'll have said that it is not in our constitution for a sole administrator, but the position we find ourselves in River State, in terms of the emergency rule, have taken us to this level. And as in Khana, the sole administrator there, since he assumed office, he has done 1 or 2 inspections, which we have also seen, but we've not been able to, he has not been able to say categorically, this is where I want to chart my level of development. So for now, we've yet to see what he has for the people of Khana, and we hope within the short stay that he will be there, he should carry the people and come up with programs and projects that will benefit the people. Because the immediate past chairman that was there, we all saw what he was doing. For the few months he came in, Bori was without electricity, but today we can boast of electricity. There were transformers that were bought and fixed at strategic locations in Bori to enable them have steady power supply. We also saw other projects that was done within this short period. So
what are happening with those projects? Some of the things that were on hold before now, the sole administrator for the council coming, are they continuing? Are they discontinuing? Because some of the reports we gather it seems as though there is some form of antagonism between.
It's normal with the political situation in the state. Ordinarily, you should know. We don't expect.
No, ordinarily we shouldn't know. That's why we're having the conversation. Yes. Because what we gather is, the reports and speculations are that some of the sole administrators are loyalists of the FCT minister. That's the popular opinion of a lot of people in public space. Whether that is the reality on ground, and for some people, they are only there to serve the interest of the.
So
for what you've seen,
from what we've seen, we've not actually seen any meaningful development stride that is going on in Khana, and we can also attest to the fact that the projects that were being embarked on by the former council chairman, they are not continuing with it. And in terms of loyalty or loyalists of the FCT minister, that we cannot contest. It is obvious. But we still feel whatever happens, the sole administrator is from Khana, and he should be able to, within the short space of time that he have to stay there, do something positive for the people of Khana.
Is this the same situation for your in other local governments? I mean, when you get in your CDC forum and you get reports from other
we have reports from other LGAs.
And what's the situation with those?
It's same thing everywhere. It's the same position everywhere. It's not different. It's not different from what is happening in other LGAs, because we believe they've been given a mandate and a clear directive on how to run. But it's left for them to be able to look back and say, no, this is a position for the grassroots, and it means a lot to the people at the grassroots, and be able to have a rethink, carry people along in whatever programs and activities they will want to embark on, so that we can be able to see.
What is the relationship like between the CDCs? And because as instrumental as the CDCs are, there is supposed to be a cordial relationship between themselves and the council chairman. In this case now, the administrators. Have there been conversations, meetings to inculcate the CDCs into their activities?
To the best of my knowledge, since he came into office, he has not held any of such meetings. And as CDCs, we partner with the traditional rulers in our various communities to ensure there is peace, to ensure there is development. And the CDCs, the CDC is a grassroots arm of government in each of the communities. And for now, we've not been called to any of such meeting. And the sole administrator. The
traditional rulers in the community, we've not had any meetings?
So far as I also know, we've not had any meeting. The sole administrator have not called any meeting with traditional rulers.
At the local government?
At the local government level too. That I can also confirm.
So any idea how they're running government then? What is happening with sanitation? What is happening with some other issues that are solely responsibilities and things that should be taken care of by the council? How are those things being run?
Sanitation exercise is skeleton, because if you get to some edges, you still see huge of garbage. I transverse Eleme through Thai. And on that road, if you get to where we call trailer park, sometimes you see huge of garbage on the road. Same thing within the edges. And these are the responsibilities, if for anything, not calling for infrastructure. These are the things we expect the sole administrator to actually look at, ensure the place is clean, ensure there is security of life and property.
And at the moment, you're not seeing anything in that direction?
At the moment, it's skeleton. Like I said, it's skeleton.
Skeleton how? Is it that you have people from the community running it, or there are different setups?
At the sanitation level, each community handles their sanitation.
Now?
Yes. But what the LGA sole administrator will have done is at the local government headquarters. Like for Khana, we have it in Bori. We expect Bori to be as clean as possible. But for each communities in the area, we carry out our sanitation with the community schedule their days of sanitation, and that is carried out by each community. It's not under the supervision of the sole administrator.
So what other activities used to be on by the council chairman at the time, and whether those activities are still being maintained now by the sole administrator, or what other expectations of the people?
Well, expectation of the people in terms of sole administrator, we have, there used to be meetings of stakeholders within the LGA, whereby the traditional rulers, the CDC, the youth, they will be called to a meeting. This is what we expected of. This is what I'm going to do as sole administrator, and we expect your cooperation and collaboration in that regard. But for now, we have yet to. Maybe after this time, they will think of it.
But so far, nothing. And you're saying this is the same situation across the other local governments, or your particular...
From the feelers we are having, is the same thing.
Do you think perhaps the state of the governance in the state under the emergency rule, you think that could be why, or regardless of that, you're expecting that these things are things that should still be put in place?
Regardless of the state of emergency, we feel very strongly that things should continue to run the way it was, but like the name implies, emergency. The state of emergency.
All right, just hold your thought there after the commercial. CDCs. So far, no conversations, no meetings. They have no idea what exactly is happening and what the plans of these sole administrators are. There's no meeting with the CDCs or traditional rulers that he can point to. And in fact, in Khana, he says some of the projects that were on have all been abandoned, and so far at the moment nothing is being done about them. If you want to find out more, get on Facebook Live at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. There you can watch the conversation all over again and let us know your thoughts. What do you think? How do you rate activities of the council sole administrators so far? Mr. NUADUM, thank you once again. Welcome. Before we get onto the phone lines and take contributions, I was trying to get you to let us know other expectations, because I'm sure that there were things that the council's leadership should be looking at doing, and the expectations that the people have from the sole administrators, including yourself as CDCs. So where do you look at to say the sole administrators at the local government should begin to consider from your position as a CDC coordinator?
Yeah, from our position as a CDC coordinator, we expect the sole administrators to, one, engage the leadership of the communities, invite the primary rulers, CDCs, and the youth to a stakeholders meeting, and be able to come out with in clear terms, this is what I intend to do for the people. And with that, the traditional rulers, the CDCs, and the youth, they will also give their own advice on how they feel the communities and the LGA should be carried along in the scheme of things.
And you think if they do that, that would be all, or that's the only thing you think is important to do?
If they do that, it will be a stepping stone, and the people will feel at that level they are being recognized, at that level they are being carried along, at that level information should be able to flow down to the people at the grassroots. But as it is right now, there is no information going down to the grassroots.
Why do you think this is the case? Why do you think we have this information gap, or things are being handled how they are handled? Because I've asked before and you said regardless of the state of emergency, you don't think that should stop them from consulting with stakeholders upon assumption of office, or having meetings with these key elements of communities before knowing how to strategize and go about their policies or implementation of whatever it is that they want to do. I mean, we saw it happen with the sole administrator at the state level, where he met with traditional rulers, met with religious leaders, and so on and so forth, before going about what he has to do. So why do you think at the local government levels with the sole administrators there, we are yet to see this sort of approach?
Well, it is surprising, because even if there was a directive that was given, as a sole administrator, we should be able to know these are the people that matters in each of the communities. But for now, I don't know what the reasons are for them not to engage us and for them not to engage the leadership of the communities.
0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. You can also call us up on 0817-923-0007. Kennedy Nathan says he's watching from Akwa Ibom State, Ikotabasi. Nothing will ever work out perfectly in an emergency route. This is all about revenge. Maxwell Nroke says their existence is not known to law. Supreme Court barred caretaker of councils. Local government sole administrators are not doing anything. Rather, they are on a vendetta mission. They will cause more harm instead of bring peace to local government areas. Oruni Wowo says the sole administrator is elected governor, so he's not an elected governor, so wouldn't know how to administer the dividends of democracy. The state is not moving forward. We need the governor back. Okay, I didn't get that one. The numbers to call again, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0002. Let's get your thoughts. So far, in your council, where you are, the sole administrators of your councils, how are they operating, and what do you make of their activities so far?
Good morning,
Ken.
me, Andrew.
Yes, good morning, Ken.
And greetings to your guests.
All right.
You see, we should not expect anything from the sole administrators. First, if I may answer your question, I believe as far as the sole administrator of River State did not appoint those to support the 23 local government areas from the civil service, I believe those people there are the FCT minister's supporters and his stooges. That is number one. Number two, here in my community, Ubumini, I have never seen or heard anything from the sole administrator of Emoha local government. Just as everything is stagnant, absolutely stagnant in Ubumini community. And I believe, since I have been listening to other radio stations and social media, I have also not heard anything concerning Emoha local government in progress. Therefore, they are there to occupy and dismantle the suspended governor's structure, and they have succeeded by doing so. Thank you very much. ETUKERE.
Chima and Rumokuta, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Ifemi.
All right, Chima, go on.
The level of destruction that took place in the local government, I think that we actually give us this incineration, the illustration they brought about the woman and Solomon and the division of child. Now, because of a court ruling case that you will leave local government, immediately you begin to destroy things there. Is that not shameful?
No, Chima, that's not what happened. Chima, I wouldn't let you mislead people.
No,
not on the show. Hold on, Chima. Hold on, Chima. That was not what was said, and that was not what was said happened. So please do not twist things or turn things to mislead or change information. That was not it. There was a complaint by the chairman for Onelga. He said in the name of development, they brought down certain structures. Perhaps they were rebuilding them, but he said it was not appropriate to bring down, demolish those structures in the name of development. That was what he said. And that's it.
Have you got that information from
and that is it.
They lose things from there, destroy some places, I'm telling you.
All right, Chima, if that happened or that is the case, we would allow the sole administrators of those councils come on air and sit down here and have a conversation with us and let Rivers people know that was what happened. Thank you.
What I want to say is that so far so good, the administrators are working well. What do you expect from them? The administrators, worker salary has been paid in that country, in the different local government where they are working. I don't think they are allowed to carry out projects. If they are allowed to carry out projects, they will do. And you remember that they have 6 months in last month. So if they want to do, what kind of project do you think excellent to do within 6 months? So far so good. Is the local government functioning well? That we want to hear. Our work has been paid. I want to hear. Is the environment enabled for them to work? I want to hear. And which audits are correct?
Okay. JJ and Rumigbo, good morning.
Yeah. And good morning to your guest.
Go on, JJ.
Yeah, Anto. Let me from where I live, Obiakpo. I'm calling you from Rumigbo right now. I always use that council area as a route to my endeavor. Andrew, the only project that the one in Obiakpo has done, remember the administrative building. When Chijoke Unwa was the chairman of Obiakpo, he changed the name from Nyeso Wike to Senator Obiwale. What this one has done is to tear or pull off the billboard opposite the council that has the Chijoke Unwa's picture and that of the governor Simnalaye Fubara. The second project he has done is to rename it after Nyeso Wike. That's the administrative building. That's just the 2 projects he has done. If you're driving past the council as if you're going to Rumokoro, the road there is eating up serious seriously and is a big gully right now, I don't think that is project because it's just to pay salary. And let's go to that Onega. If Emejuru wants to remodel the council and he has done some restructuring and that is not finished before he left office, what is there? You can invite your big sole administrator and show him if he wants to complete it or give you approval. Not saying, oh, the council has been destroyed. They just complain as if they don't know engineering. So it's not making any sense to me. Do your job.
All right, JJ. Thank you very much.
But do something.
Thank you very much. Again, we would say perhaps the former Onega Council chairman would have to clarify. He would be in the best position to respond to that and state exactly what the true state of things are during his time. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0002. On WhatsApp, we have several messages coming in. I'll just go there and take some. Someone says, as to speak today, there is no project going on in Khana or other local government area in the state. It's sad that the president has taken Rivers people a few years back, yet some people are clapping. This person says, okay, we can't play audio. I don't know why you're sending me an audio clip. But there's nothing I can do with it. Please tell us your name and tell us where you're calling from. Good morning, Nigeria Info.
Hello.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Prince, calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go on, Prince.
Yes, I want to ask your man in the studio here.
All right, go on.
This administrator, as any of them, the chief and other people, driving around this man, welcome him, and then table their matter. Rather, if they are just down, the man will come and meet them, and none of that. And now, instead of them to speak of how they will take their place, okay, you are not the right person. Is the right person. Is that what they should be doing? Why not put out your what you want from the man and then see how you can help rather than no, it's not the right person. Now you have become a court again. Same thing they did last time. You are not the these are the ones, and then you refuse to pay salary to those people. This same thing is what you are doing. Rather than them running around the man, see how you can help them one way or the other. Who is here is not the problem. So only to see how you can help your community and put things in order. All this, you are not person, he's an independent, you don't want this one, you want this one. How will it work?
All right, then, thank you. Let us know. He asked the question. I'm sure you heard him. He said, have you made efforts to perhaps try and get the audience of the council sole administrators, perhaps a courtesy visit, or is that not how? Doesn't it work that way?
Well, I've been in administration for quite a long time, and when a new administration comes in, the person invites the stakeholders, that is the chiefs and the CDC and the youths, to a meeting.
So it is not the...
It's not that we should now write
seek for audience
or whatever, because we believe the sole administrator that is put there is for the interest of the people, interface with the people. You rightly said when the sole administrator of the state came in, he called the traditional rulers and he spoke with them and called other groups too. It is not something for an arm or whatever to suggest to the sole administrator. You should know that if you are coming into to govern a set of people, who are the people that I'm supposed to get in touch with? But in this case, it is not, because it's like they've been given a clear mandate on how to run, which is not okay with us as a people. And the better they do a U-turn and invite the stakeholders and tell us what they have in stock within this short period, the better for each and every community and each and every local government area.
All right, Ida from Nkoro, good morning.
Good morning. I greet your guest in the studio. Good morning, sir. I want to ask a question. What is Supreme Court judgment that shall not be caretaker against? Supreme Court passed that judgment that any money they want to pay to the local government to be elected chairman them. And we should know that Governor Slim Ubara did an election local government election for the 23 LGA, peaceful election, and Supreme Court now backed them. Now, these people that they are calling school administrator, are they not caretaker chairmen? So their guests should please answer that question. And that one, my local government, I don't know the person. I'm from Obobo Nkoro. I don't know my school administrator. When the chairman was there, the place was very clean. But now I come to Obobo Nkoro, dirty full everywhere. The man is doing nothing. So that Supreme Court judgment, let your guests interpret it for me, please.
All right, Ida.
Children will learn.
Thank you. I think it's also important that we make us understand. I think the right question should be asked is because it's an emergency rule, will some of those things still hold? It might create the room for a suspension of some of those things. What would you say? That from looking for what an emergency rule would be, it might. Don't you think an exception would be created for some of these things?
It might create exception for some, but not in all cases. Take, for example, will you say it will create exception to sanitation? Will it create exception to the payment of salaries? No. There are things that are mandatory for the sole administrator to carry on with, and we expect that he should be able to sit up and take up those responsibilities, even within the ambit of the emergency rule. The caller that talked about the Supreme Court judgment, yes, Supreme Court has already ruled that there shouldn't be a caretaker, there shouldn't be any form of governance at the local government level that is not elected. But we are surprised to see in Rivers State, where local government are being administered by sole administrators.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that because of the emergency rule? Doesn't the emergency rule then create room for, say, okay, we have to, this judgments or from the Supreme Court might not have its full expression as it should because of the emergency rule?
Even at that, like I said, there are basic things you still need to do. You cannot say because it's an emergency, you not take care of security. Because there is emergency rule, everywhere should be filthy. No. Because it's emergency rule, salaries should not be paid. No. There are still things that is expected. The other day, I think I passed, there was a building within the Thai local government area. That building was, they've already put wood on it. By the time I passed the second time, it was roofed. It has been covered with a roof and all that. If there are projects that were at such level, we expect the sole administrator to continue with that, because we already know funds will have been provided for such projects. If there were ongoing projects that will benefit the people, we don't see any reason why they would discontinue or not to carry on with such projects. And we believe projects at the LGA, local government levels, are projects that will enhance the development of the area. And the people need such projects.
Chinedu Ineche, good morning. Let's go to NTA Road then. Mufasa, good morning.
Yeah, hi, Andrew. Good morning.
All right, let's hear you.
Yeah, you see, I want to quickly take it up from the last statement of your guest when he said that projects at the LGA level, these are, in fact, the local government is the closest tier of government to the people. And for you to even take up leadership responsibility at that level, you need to be prepared. For me, ordinarily, I even don't like speaking, about these sole administrators at all levels because it is unconstitutional. But then again, look at what we have now. You see, these are more or less accidental public servants. They were never prepared. That is why you see all these kind of groups everywhere. If you are prepared for leadership, certainly you will understand what leadership entails. That is why all these things are happening. You come into office when you don't even expect to be put there because of certain political, inclinations. But then again, I want us to understand that whatever we do today is going to haunt us more in the future. Persons who were there before started projects that have direct bearing on the people. You just came from nowhere all of a sudden, decided to terminate it and begin to, wish hunt and do all manner of things that are inimical to development. So, as your guests have said, he is a CDC member of his community. They should continue to speak. Because unless good people speak, bad things will continue to happen in the society.
All right,
That's
let's take one more from Lugard in HA. Good morning, Lugard.
Yeah, Andrew, greetings from HA to you.
All right, go on.
Yeah, I greet your guest. You see, what's happened in Rivers State is just a calculated plan to loot the resources of Rivers State. Andrew, you are aware what the Supreme Court said, that you cannot release allocation of Rivers State because of local government that was not properly constituted. And today, on assumption of this sole administrator, the allocation of Rivers State was released to him. And remember, governor said he left about over 200 billion naira in the coffers of Rivers State. What are these sole administrators doing? Nothing. I'm from a Chile, and a grassroots man indeed. Go to Chile and ask, even some workers have not been paid, then where is this money going? The worst thing that happened to Rivers State is the creation of state of emergency, of which is not going down well with us that are real Rivers people. And we are saying that, Mr. President...
Lugard, the conversation is to know what the sole administrator in your local government is doing and how you rate their performance. And I don't think you've answered that part of the question.
Yes, I've already said it now, that in my own local government, the sole administrator there is not doing anything. I've not seen anything. Even workers or in the Chile local government, many of them have not been paid. But what we had was that few callers, one or two callers that are supporting them are being paid 200,000 naira every month.
Okay, that's what you heard. It's not verified. It's not our position. Hopefully, we would look into it, but then we don't have any information about that. Let's quickly wrap up from my guest. So going forward, what's next for the CDCs? Because you said there's been no working relationship, no meetings, no conversations, nothing. So what's next for the CDCs with regards to development in the communities? In under a minute.
But going forward, I think what we will do as CDCs is to review the position of things in our communities and at the LGA, and at the end of the day, come up with a position, a more clearer position that will let the people to know. And we also want to tell members of the state, the citizens, to be calm and steadfast. We are under emergency rule. It is not our making. We had an elected governor that was doing very well for us, and we believe he will come back to continue the good works he has been doing. We are strongly, as United CDCs in Rivers State, we are strongly supporting him, and he should remain steadfast, and we will continue to pray for him.
All right, Mr. NUADUM, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning to you.
Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, don't forget that you can join the One Play game for Nigeria Info. Simply dial *347 *880 *6#, and with just 500 naira, you can win yourself up to ₦1 million. Okay, so go and play and win. Good morning.